Welcome to another horrid, terrible, despicable episode of the Apocalypse. Congratulations, by the way, for choosing the Apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the Apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that guide. Your humble guide. Nicholas. So good to see you, O bloody gain. There is much to get to, so I'm just going to get right to it. I'm going to work from the 14th till now. I got a whole bunch of shit. Now, remember, Kill Meat the other day, at the end of a rant by another guest about homeless people, Kill Meat said, yeah, maybe involuntary lethal injection or just kill them. Just kill them. He said that out loud on the air on a major news network in the morning. With the little children's probably watching and everything. He still has his job. He gave a half-ass apology. So many homeless people deserve our empathy and compassion. Again, he didn't go the route that even a liar would go. I was joking. Bad taste, over-the-top joke, I went too far, insensitive, nope. He just said I shouldn't have said what I said. Homeless people deserve our empathy and compassion. He said a few sentences and moved right on. It was a completely bullshit apology. It was fucking pathetic. I couldn't believe it. And I couldn't believe he's so, I don't even know what to call it, arrogant, that he didn't even go to the go-to excuse of I was only joking. Whenever someone says something offensive in public, of course, they go right to that. He didn't even do that. The reason I'm repeating that again is because, you know why he didn't do that? Because that's what he believes, and it's just that simple. And again, there is a spirit going round, son, I don't know if you noticed, about the past 10 years. And much longer, but really amplified in the last 10 years. Shit like this. Cruelty just spoken out loud. Evil just spoken out loud. And everyone's like, yeah, so what? That's good, isn't it? Evil being replaced, good being replaced by evil. The apology was bullshit. Here's the look on his face. While it was going on, with the makeup and everything. Looks like he's had a little face work done too. I wonder if that's what Bry thinks about when he's on the table getting his face worked. Does he think about killing homeless people? I wonder. Because he can never say he doesn't think about it because he yelled it out fucking loud. As if it was a great fucking idea. And he didn't do it from the comfort of his own home behind closed doors, son, where no one would be hurt by it. He did it on a mainstream news channel first thing in the fucking morning. And we get a half-ass apology in return, him with a smug look on his face, like he can't believe he has to apologize. And I'm still stunned that he didn't use the go-to. I was only joking. I shouldn't have taken it that far. Oh, no. So that tells me he really believes it. And again, that's why I'm repeating it for the third fucking time. Good. What did they say in the good book? In the last days, they will call good evil and they will call evil good. Kind of what the Pharisees did when talking about the Holy Spirit when confronting Jesus Christ in the story, in the good book. When I refer to the story, I guess really what I'm referring to is Revelation and the corresponding other prophecy points in the Old Testament that all lead up to it, that are basically the same story but told in a different way, with a few different extra nuggets. So that's the story, the good book. Well, I think we all know what that is. Anyway, what the fuck am I talking about? Let me move on. I want to see executions on TV. Imagine if Coca-Cola sponsored executions. That would be so American, so patriotic. People would tune in. I think children at a certain age, as initiation, should be required to watch. Public executions by guillotine are holy. By guillotine, they say. I didn't tell you who was saying this, did I? Well, that'd be Charlie Kirk. That's who said that. Again, another super privileged person making jokes about public executions and people being beheaded for fuck's sake. Like I said, people, you are in the era where the good book talks about good will be called evil and evil will be called good. In other words, simplified, inversion of reality, inversion of morality as well. That was Charlie Kirk who said that. In the story, there is a section that talks about people saying, basically, when will justice be done? This group of people that are no longer on this planet, when will justice be done for us? And God the Father basically says, not till your number is full. One of the groups mentioned is those beheaded, witnessing for Christ, those beheaded by the Antichrist. So, when I talk about, yes, there will be public executions, yes, there will be executions, it's funny, Charlie mentions execution by guillotine, because I told you, and this is hard stuff to hear, people, I know. It's hard to say. But it's something I've realized over a lifetime, looking at certain things. The devil's favorite way to kill, beheading. I'm not going to explain how I know that. I've already done that. I don't want to do it again. The story talks about those beheaded for witnessing for Christ or in the last days by the Antichrist. Those who don't take the mark, possibly. So it's funny, Charlie, who basically preached the gospel of MAGA and all that, chose guillotine in his, I don't know, desire to see public executions rant. That's in the story, people. There will be costs for everyone. Those who go along, those who say no, and the ones who go along, they'll be okay in the short term. Some of them. In the long term, what will happen to them is unspeakable. The full scope of it, undescribable. So Charlie wanted public executions. This is Trump at the golf club, and again, I'm working from the 14th till the present. And if you want to see what it looks like, it looked like that. So many things happened this week. It's hard to even cover it all. And I was a little busy. Trump at his golf club. So many things have been learned about him so quickly. He's become totally radicalized and crazy, and it must have been traumatic because the parents are conservative people, supposed to be very nice people living in Utah. He's talking about Tyler Robinson, of course. I've seen nothing to indicate that kid is left. Nothing. And they're saying there's messages to a transgender roommate. I don't know. I haven't seen them. I don't know their name. That script that somebody wrote, that's not very convincing. So as far as I'm concerned, until I see something liberal about him, I haven't seen anything liberal about him. Yet they keep saying this because they're about to move a chess piece, and they already have moved a little bit today. It will continue because I got a lot more here where they keep harping on this thing. They ain't doing that for fun. These acts, you're watching Stephen Miller and Donnie Do, where this kid's a fucking bleeding heart liberal or something. They're doing it for a reason because they plan to make a move on the back of it. So listen and pay attention because your world's about to change. It already has changed today, which I'll get to. So the parents were nice and conservative, but the son was an evil liberal. That's the narrative Donnie's trying to put out there now. Again, I haven't seen one liberal thing about this guy. I'm still waiting for it. Oh, this is Charlie Kirk's wife collecting money. Charlie was worth about $12 million, I hear. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. This is like a solicitation as well. There's phone, text messages that come with this. You know how the right-wing machine does it, son. She seemed quite composed during her little speech. Did you notice that? I forgot to mention that I've been so busy. Sorry, son. Did you notice how she was out there like the next day, press conference, speech, the whole shebang? I did. Am I saying she killed him or something? Absolutely not. Was the thing as strong as it should be? It doesn't appear to be. Because she was right out there to help the machine, and you know what type of help I'm talking about. Where they're going, the Reich. And she seemed quite composed. She even showed a video of her like rubbing her husband's body, his hand and stuff. Right on video. Right there. Close up, baby. You could see the hand and everything going. Not far away. Put that on camera. Intentionally. So you've seen the first page. Here's another page. Charlie always said, never surrender. The movement my husband built will not die. I refuse to let it happen. I bet you do. And we're going to see in a minute or in a second why she's not going to let that happen. So that's another part of the kind of solicitation. Here's the actual text message itself sent to someone. I've covered the phone number up. Erica Kirk, I refuse to let the movement Charlie built die. It will only grow stronger, bolder, louder. Join me. She's very active for her husband just being gunned down in public, wouldn't you say? I would. Here are the amounts you could donate to the woman who now has $12 million, probably plus a healthy insurance policy coming her way. How much is she going to donate? How much of her own money is she going to put up in this cause she so firmly believes in, son? How much of her own money? What number do you think? I know what number. It kind of looks like that. That number. Fucking 0. That's what the number will be. In fact, she might withdraw some too. Who the fuck knows? These are the amounts. They go up to 100,000. Not a grift at all. I would never say that. $100,000, son. Wow. And again, Charlie was worth 12. She probably gonna get a nice insurance policy. But send her some money. And hey, you know, she's giving you the freedom to go up to 100,000 with your donation. So, be generous. Again, it's not a grift at all. I'd never say that. Ever. Okay, Donnie's talking about Charlie here at the golf course. Again, this is what it looks like. We're going to go back to these different Donnie comments. Because what I'm trying to point out with a lot of these videos, when it's packed with Donnie comments like this, I'm trying to point out abominations per day, and have you ever seen anything like it? Because I haven't. It's constant evil all the fucking time. Every day, all day, son. He was a friend to a lot of people in the room, and he was a really special guy, so I'm going to be going to Charlie's, I guess you'd call it a funeral. There's a small one. I said we can do the big one because we're going to give him the Presidential Medal of Honor. A podcaster. So now you're seeing part of what Donnie's going to use this for. Martyr this guy. Give him the medal post-death. Crack down harder on you. So it's going to be a big show. The medal ceremony. That's what Donnie's looking for out of this. And much, much more. That's just one aspect, son. Don't have the little funeral. I'm trying to put on some theater. I'm trying to build a Reich, son. Let's do this Medal of Honor. Let's have a big, whole thing. Taxpayers paying for it. What do I give a fuck? Not my money. And it ain't yours either, honey. When you're a reality TV star, they just let you spend it. Fucking marks. This is Donnie talking about Liz Cheney, and the reason I gathered things like this and feel they're relevant is there's this big call from the right-wing grift/terror machine to tone things down, and that there's all this violence on the left and violent rhetoric, and we're calling them Nazis and calling them fascist, a dictator, etc., and that's mean, right? That's the propaganda of the day, right, Roops? The evil liberals are being mean to you. And Charlie and Donnie and all of it, right? Okay, let's read what Donnie had to say about Liz Cheney. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. When the guns are trained on her face! Hypocrites! Not that you'll ever see this. Or Google's at the censorship table at the White House all the time. And the channel I built, well, that's censored again. They let me use it for a whole 6 months. Wasn't that nice of them? The adjudicated criminal Google. Trained on her face, the orange-diapered Antichrist says. Tone down the rhetoric, you say. Fascist is mean, you say. Dictator is mean. Nazi is mean, you say. Well, what if we describe Donnie the way he's describing Miss Cheney here? Would that be mean, son? Nah, right? Miss Gomez, Valentina Gomez, I showed you this picture because I was like, damn, we're here, huh? We're really here. I showed you this. People are bringing it up again because it has relevance all of a sudden. This is cheaper than deportation. So this is Valentina Gomez, who's running or either in Congress. I don't even fucking know. Leon took a liking to her. Shooting a fake immigrant tied to a chair in the back of the head, son. Did I tell you the good book said? In the last days, they will say good is evil and evil is good. Here you go, son. I'm telling you a story. Daddy's telling you a story here. I showed you this picture. Tone down the rhetoric, you say. Dictator is mean, you say. Nazi, after Nazi salutes and concentration camps being built. That's mean. But this isn't, right, Roops? You know where this ends for you, right? If you follow this woman and that man in orange face. You know where this ends for you. If you don't, you better ask somebody, son. Okay, so Donnie's at a press conference again. This looks like the 14th. It looks like this out by the chopper, the plane. You know, Donnie likes to Rambo it up and pretend it's a movie. Because he's never really done much in life besides hang out with Jeff Epstein and shit, so. Anyway, the president of Venezuela called the strike on the boat illegal. I believe this is the first strike we're talking about, not the second one. What's illegal is the fact that 300 million people died last year from drugs. 300 million, son. There goes that fish story again. That's a big-ass number, isn't it? Really is. Fact check, there's only 340 million in our entire country. In other words, enough people die per year from drugs to fill up almost the United States. Yeah, that's not true. But, you know, Donnie just pulls shit out his ass. Because there's plenty there. Right in the diaper. Every day. All day. They set the precedent that murdering fishermen in a certain area of the world is okay, son. But I'll get to that. So Donnie deflects right to 300 million fake people die every year from drugs. That's what's illegal. No, actually blowing up fishermen off the coast of Venezuela or wherever the fuck they did it, actually that's murder, that's illegal. No evidence, they've presented jack shit to us but a picture of a boat both times. Right before they blew it up. So Donnie just deflects right away from that. Do you think Maduro is not telling the truth when he said it's a fisherman's boat? Oh, give me a break. You could see it. You saw the bags of white, everything right through the bags. It's nonsense. So Donnie said in the footage, you can literally see the white coke, the cocaine. And he makes another comment about it. I think I have it here. I hope I included it. So Donnie's telling you, you can literally see the bags of coke. So, you know, it's okay to kill them. All right. That's where we're at. Oh, this was a great post the other day. On the 15th, subject to SEC approval, companies and corporations should no longer be forced to report, that's in quotes, on a quarterly basis, and that's a capital R for some reason. Quarterly reporting, that's in parentheses, but rather to report on a 6-month basis. All right, I'm not going to continue any further. We know why that is. The reason this happened because someone else had this idea. Because the question keeps coming up. Donnie's grift keeps getting exposed by how horrible the economy's doing. So when we get these quarterly reports, we're going to be back here every 3 months. Right back on Donnie's ass about how terrible every business is doing. Donnie doesn't want that. Every 6 months from now on. So, once again, if you hide it, if you sweep it under the rug, it's not happening. That's what Donnie and the Reich are going for here, okay? Okay, class? That way, Donnie only has to deal with the horrible numbers every 6 months, not every 3 months. Hide the problem. Hide the disease. Hide the gangrene. It'll go away. As long as you don't know about it. So every 6 months, Caesar has proclaimed. Okay? Governor Josh Stein on delayed FEMA funding. The puppy killer now has to, he didn't say that, now has to approve every reimbursement in excess of $100,000, and that is slowing things down dramatically. $100,000 is nothing for disaster relief. Oh my God. They created a third bureaucratic level of review called Defend the Spend in Doge, and that takes 30 to 90 days. It's way too long. For disaster assistance, son, Donnie thinks that's his money, that tax money that FEMA has to help people. And he hides behind the shield of Doge because he wants to decide if anyone gets any money and where that money goes. He's turned down several states so far over this past 7-8 months, whatever it's been. This governor's literally saying it takes 30 to 90 days to even get a yes or no. So automatically, Rubes, unless Donnie needs you, you're convenient for him at the moment. You're waiting 3 months before anything happens. A yes or no even. That's fucking deadly, and that's the point, son. Yes, they want you to die, yes. There are evil people in this world, I'm sorry. They believe in things, especially people with a lot of money. Not all of them, but these ones. They believe they're better. They believe they're gods. They believe that they have the right to decide who lives and who dies. Because they're special. Ain't nobody special at the lake, son. Nobody special at the lake. So the third bureaucratic level is not only Doge, it's Donnie. And again, that's Donnie's money. You wait 3 months even for an answer. Unless you catch his eye somehow, I don't know, in the first month. Disgusting, evil, abominable. I hope your house doesn't get swept away in a disaster and you need the federal government to help you because it ain't looking good. No matter where you are. Okay, Leon is back for a moment, posts a picture of Tyler Robinson eating some food. The forces that turned him into a cold-blooded murderer need to be stopped. No one turned him into a cold-blooded murderer, son. He's the only one that did that, if he's responsible. I didn't hear the transgender roommate in the transcript I read you. I didn't hear them cheering this on and that it's awesome and thank you for doing it for me. I didn't hear none of that. But Leon's saying it, so it's got to be true. Miller, Donnie, all of them. They're just saying this stuff, and none of it has any basis in fucking reality. Not a bit of it. And now he's a poor victim. Why? Because he turned out to be a white kid from the sticks in Utah? Is that why he's a victim now? Because it didn't sound like his transgender roommate, if they even exist, knew anything about this. So who's to blame if the story they're telling us is true, that he did it? Well, that'd be him. Not the technical school he went to for a little bit. Not the college he went to for 5 minutes. Just him, man. Let's listen to Leon again. Ready? The forces that turned him into a cold-blooded murderer need to be stopped. What's so disgusting is Leon got thrown under the bus big time. He was co-chancellor, you remember that? Now he ain't shit. Yet he's still down with the cause. Yet he's still trying to make it all happen. Amazing. And again, they're just going to keep saying this stuff as if it's truth, just like in 1933. I told you this is a Reich. I told you they're Nazis. I told you the formula. I told you the steps they're going to take. And if you want to know the rest, go read a book about the Third Reich and all the things they did. Same thing. That's not drama. That's not exaggeration. And I will not always be here to tell you that, son. You saw Kimmel go away today, right? You think it's going to stop there with famous people? How many times have I been censored by the adjudicated criminal Google and every other website? They don't want me speaking to people, son. I won't always be here. This is Kash Patel on the 15th in an interview with Fox. My job as FBI director is not to speak to motivate, it is to speak to the facts, and that's what I'm going to do. His family has told investigators that he subscribed to left-wing ideology, and even more so in the last couple of years. I'm committed to transparency. See, they say that phrase, left-wing ideology, because that's good enough for the rubes. Unfortunately, that's why the world and the country's over. Because they're that easy. But what he really said there is nothing. What do you mean, left-wing ideology? Like what? Oh, he doesn't elaborate, son, ever. Don't worry. Because there ain't nothing to elaborate on. Otherwise, they would be. But again, I'm showing you this to show you every aspect of the Reich. All the different cabinet positions, the various broadcasters, all kind of people. Leon, everyone's saying the same fucking thing. They all want this to be portrayed as the left did it. Yet there's nothing there to support it. They're going to keep saying it anyway. They are keeping saying it. This is a clip of Nick Fuentes, and I'm just going to tell you quickly what he said this day. He was talking about Charlie Kirk, and he said, you may have the money and all this, but I have a gang called the Groypers. I have shooters. Shooters, he said. And then he said, well, I'm speaking metaphorically, but I have shooters on the streets. He called them shooters, son. This was before Kirk died. I'm not saying Fuentes had him killed or anything. I'm just saying that's what this motherfucker was saying prior to the death. You're really not supposed to admit you have shooters on camera in front of everyone, like you're some proud mobster or something. But Nick did it. Holy fuck, man. Again, back to the Kash Patel interview that looks like this. Kash Patel says that Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson left behind manifesto that was destroyed, but FBI can forensically prove its existence. So again, here's Patel making another evidentiary claim. Like the left-wing ideology claim that has no basis whatsoever. I haven't seen one left-wing thing. Yet Patel said it. A vagary. Now we have a manifesto. Here's a oh, wait a minute, it doesn't exist anymore. But we have forensic evidence that it once existed. So he's giving us nothing again. This looks worse and worse every day, to the point I don't know what to fucking believe. And again, if you want I read the text messages and everything, gave my thoughts on it in the last video. If you want to know about that, my perspective, go to that one. All 10 of you. I know you're really concerned. Okay, Stephen Miller. He went on a rant the other day. I don't have the picture here. It's cut off because he said so much. When we're talking about a manifesto, son. Yeah, that's a manifesto. Funny they mention manifestos. So, Stevie and the Reich and everyone, they're feeling comfortable enough to just spout their intentions straight up. I told you the facade would drop, right? It's dropping by the day. Stephen Miller, we are going to channel all the anger we have over the organized campaign, that led to this assassination to uproot and dismantle these terrorist networks. There's no network. It's one kid from the woods. What is he talking about? Oh, it's a Reich, and he's just going to say anything to get it rolling. The organized doxing campaigns. No, that's done on the right like a motherfucker. The organized riots. No, that's done on the right again. January 6th, son. They tried to overthrow the government. Remember that? The organized street violence. The organized dehumanization. Vilification. Says the guy who wants people sent to camps. Just, again, Goebbels would be proud, and Stevie wants to be Goebbels so bad. It's his hero. Vilification, posting people's addresses. Again, the right does that type of shit so much more often. The mob right. Combining that with messaging designed to trigger and incite violence in the actual organized cells that carry out and facilitate the violence. What cells? It was one kid again from the woods with his grandpappy's rifle, according to the Reich. What cells? What is this? It is a vast domestic terror movement. With God as my witness, we are going to use every resource we have at the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, throughout this government to identify, disrupt, dismantle, destroy these networks, and make America safe again for the American people. It will happen, and we will do it in Charlie's name, so a chess piece will be moved in Charlie's name. And I don't know what cells and groups and people he's talking about, because the only person involved in this is a kind of right-winger from the woods that knows how to shoot. White kid. But again, this is what you're seeing when you're wondering how it was in the early 30s in Germany, what Goebbels and all the different people were doing, how they were inverting reality straight up. Right here. Manifesto, he just said, we're going after people. These people don't exist. These cells and groups he's talking about, they don't exist. But they going after people. What's that mean? They're going to label people terrorists. I told you this a long time ago. That's all they have to do to you. Then they can deport you, put you in a camp, anything they want to do. There's Stephen's manifesto for you. That's what's coming. J.D. Vance, when you see someone celebrating Charlie's murder, call their employer. But wait a minute, organized doxing campaigns and stuff like that. Call their employer, you say. So MAGA's allowed to call people's jobs. That's okay? MAGA's allowed to do whatever they want to. That's the whole point of this exercise. So you're afraid to do anything or say anything, and they do whatever they want. That's what all this was building to for 10 years, and we're getting to the crescendo of it. There's no going back, I'm sorry. It's happening. And no one's going to stop it till the appointed time, and that someone that eventually does stop it will not be human. Okay, this is Donnie and a long rant about the Capitol, and I will only read you the pertinent part because I don't have a lot of time. The department will no longer cooperate with ICE in removing and relocating dangerous illegal aliens. If I allowed this to happen, crime would come roaring back. Donnie solved all the crime in D.C. To the people and businesses of Washington, D.C., don't worry, I am with you and won't allow this to happen. That's in all caps. I'll call a national emergency and federalize if necessary. Donnie keeps repeating this every other day, so expect in the near future for him to take over D.C. That's his where his throne is. Now he's got troops already on the ground, checkmate, and now he's going to consolidate security and power even further and federalize and martial law, I guess. I don't know. And this is Jim Stewartson who posted this Donnie post. It's only a matter of time before he does it. He's petrified of midterms. He was never petrified of midterms. He knew he was never going to let midterms happen and, ignore the results anyway. And especially the 4 years where he's got to leave, he never planned on leaving. He didn't plan on leaving last time. You saw the coup, right, son? He was never worried about midterms or this. That's why he's cracking down, tightening that grip on all of us. More and more and more and more. Absolutely gargantuan fuck up. Hyundai now saying that spin up of that battery plant will not restart until 2026 at the absolute earliest. I heard another car company's leaving. I forget which one it is. Putting these South Koreans in chains and detaining them for 7 days when they had valid visas and were here to help get a massive factory set up is genuinely suicidal U.S. behavior. Donnie likes theater, and they didn't pay him for all their visa workers. That's what Donnie was looking for out of this. What Donnie's going to get out of this is Hyundai pulling the fuck out and other companies pulling out because this shit's just way over the top now. Now he's grabbing their visa workers as if they're, murderers. As if they're convicted felons like he is. South Korea took it as a huge fucking insult, and so did the company, and I don't fucking blame them. So again, everything Donnie touches dies. Another bit of our country, more jobs going away. Another company saying, fuck this, we really can't take anymore. Everything on pause. A lot of the workers that are needed to train new people on how to run the place and build their cars, they decided, yeah, we're not coming back. Because Donnie realized how big of a fuck up it was, and he tried to throw him a bone and be like, all right, some of you can stay and do this and do that. And they're like, no, fuck you. We're leaving. Sorry. Trump announces the U.S. conducted a strike on a second alleged Venezuelan drug boat this morning on his orders, killed 3 people. Again, this is the 15th. The strike occurred while these confirmed narco-terrorists from Venezuela were in international waters transporting illegal narcotics. Well, they said it, right? So it's got to be true, right? Right. So now that's 2 boats Donnie has blown out of the water. For all we know, they were fishermen. Who knows? Trump's tariffs have created a drop in sales of various agricultural exports, including soybeans. Data shows the U.S. is losing out on billions of dollars in purchases from China, which spent over $3 billion on soybeans in the second quarter of 2024. That's a quarter, son. They spent $3 billion. So far, China has spent 0 this year. Ouch. If you're a soybean farmer. Fucking ouch. But I'm going to guess that most soybean farmers voted for this, so don't worry, you'll get a socialist handout. Hopefully it'll come before you're bankrupt. I don't know what to tell you. You chose it, son. I didn't. I used to drive by the soybean farms in Jersey. I had a job a long time ago where I had to drive a truck a far distance before the work even began. And I would drive by these soybean farms in Jersey. I believe they were soybean. They looked like it. And now China has bought 0. Donnie shitbags effect, class. I don't just say that for fun. Ask the soybean farmers. Hopefully they can switch to something else real quick. I don't know. Trump announced the U.S. military attacked a boat. Here's Donnie's proclamation on the 15th. This morning, on my orders, U.S. military forces conducted a second kinetic strike against positively identified extraordinarily violent drug trafficking cartels and narco-terrorists in the Southcom area of responsibility extraordinarily violent. Wow, he has a lot of details around these people that he just blew up in 5 minutes after they saw the boat. The strike occurred while these confirmed narco-terrorists, by who? From Venezuela, were in international waters transporting illegal narcotics, a deadly weapon poisoning Americans, headed to the U.S. That's a guy who was a cokehead for most of his life, and he's still all drugged up on a bunch of shit just to keep him going. His son's an abject cokehead. So he don't care about drugs. That's not what this is about, son. Maybe the cartels aren't cutting Donnie in. Or maybe Donnie just wants that 303 billion barrels of oil in reserve that Venezuela has. I'm going with the oil thing. These extremely violent drug trafficking cartels pose a threat to the U.S. national security, and that's enough. We don't need to read the rest. 2 boats, man of peace who wants a Nobel Peace Prize. He just blew up 2 boats, and we have no idea. They could be fishermen. They could be Joey the Jerk-Off. We have no idea who they are. Again, Donnie in a press conference, 15th, looks like in the Oval Office. Do you have plans to designate Antifa as a domestic terror organization? Donnie, it's something I would do. Yeah, there are other groups, and I've been speaking with the Attorney General about bringing RICO against some of the people you've been reading about. So he just says RICO. He mentions no specific crimes again. Another vagary. What is this setting the table for? Well, what he did today. He keeps saying things and then doing them. Did you notice that, son? So on the 15th, he's pondering, allegedly, as if it wasn't always going to happen. This has been planned long ago, son, long ago. On the 15th, he's pondering designating Antifa a terror group. And that reporter was obviously loaded up with that question from somebody, because Donnie wanted to talk about it. So a fake group that doesn't exist, he might name a terror group, and he might bring RICO charges against some rich liberals, namely George Soros. That's what he's setting the stage for here. And we're going to see the result of all this setup. Every time this question was thrown out there out of nowhere, are you going to designate Antifa a terror group? This is Donnie talking about the Venezuelan ships. We're seeing that there are no ships in the ocean anymore. No, there are no boats. I wonder why. Meaning no drugs are coming across. Probably stopping some fishermen too. To be honest, if I were a fisherman, I wouldn't want to go fishing either. Maybe they think I have drugs downstairs. So again, we're cracking jokes. This is where the America is at. The Antichrist in the Oval Office that you idiots gave the keys to, who have your name on this, is cracking jokes about fishermen being blown out of the water under the premise of, well, they might have drugs, or we think they have drugs, so blow them out of the water, Scotty. Or should I say Petey? For Petey Hegseth. I wouldn't want to go fishing either. You're talking about poor people from poor communities that go out on boats to fish. And he's cracking jokes about blowing them out of the water and that they can't fish. It doesn't end with this either. I have something later by the Couchfucker along the same vein. So this is like, a coordinated joke that the Reich will tell on the regular from now on, I guess. Maybe they think I have drugs downstairs, so that's all America needs, is to think you may have some drugs. We can blow you out of the fucking water. No trial, no arrest, no nothing. You know what that's called, class? That's called the Antichrist. That's called going forth, conquering and to conquer. Again, they tried this man of peace bullshit during Donnie's first term. But the first 6 months, Donnie sent an armada towards North Korea to provoke them, shot 200 missiles at Syria, dropped the mother of all bombs in Afghanistan till Ann Coulter and the right-wing machine shamed him, including Alex Jones. And he backed off. And he stopped being a warmonger. So in other words, class, it's what Donnie was all along. It's what the story tries to convey. This person that comes into power and never wants to give it up and goes forth starting all these wars. And who can make war with the beast, son? That's in the story too. And the answer is what I told you before the election, class. And the rubes and the greedy at the top that were watching my every word. Even when I was on this channel with 40 views a video. What I was telling you is once he has the keys, class, that's why I was begging everyone not to give him the keys again. He's going to have the keys to the most powerful weapon on earth that nothing can even remotely touch. The U.S. military. Checkmate. Once he has his grip firmly on them, and boy does he. I didn't see a one lay down the guns before they were deployed against their own people. So when you ask yourself, will the military say no? That question everyone had so much faith in that they would over the years. I think you have your answer now. Again, the Reich, Donnie, the Antichrist, making jokes about blowing fishermen out of the water and how they can't fish now. Have I said you need to get your name off this, son? Have I mentioned that at all during these little videos? How will you send the National Guard into Chicago without the cooperation of the governor and the mayor? Again, Donnie, same White House setup. If they do cooperate, that's good. If not, it's not going to matter at all. Yeah, we know, Donnie. This is Reich. I told you, class. It's not going to matter at all. You know who wants to help us? Police department. They have no respect for the governor. They have no respect for the mayor. And we found that in Washington. So I guess the police in D.C. are working very closely with the Reich. I guess in Chicago, they'll be working very closely with the Reich. So we've lost them too, as if we've ever had them on our side, let's be honest. It's over, son. I've been saying it for a while for a reason. Not for fun, drama, attention, money. There's been none of that. In fact, I've been censored down to 30 views of it again. Can't even use my main channel. Made useless. No strikes, no nothing, just, we'll let you know when you can use it again. The adjudicated criminal Google did that. Again, I won't be here forever, son. Donnie again, when I looked at the people that were patrolling the streets for the National Guard and for others, I can see we're merit-based. They were rough-looking. They were tough-looking. Donnie doesn't mean they were merit-based. This merit, not merit, DEI conversation, that means white and not white. We all know what it means. In other words, once again, like I've told you many times, the Reich is specifically handpicking specific troops of a specific complexion mostly that are down with the ideology. Again, son, really bad for us. Because we know what kind of men are mostly down with this ideology. Men that would have never gotten anywhere unless the right give it to them. Like Petey Hegseth. Those are the type of men patrolling. And women. I don't know if there's women, but... Again, checkmate. It's over. We're gonna have to live through this. A lot of us won't live through this. And it's our own government, our own fellow citizens as soldiers and police and brown shirts, Gestapo, ICE, that will do it to us. Do you hear me, son? Trump on Tyler Robinson looks like he was radicalized over the internet and radicalized by the left. He's a left. A lot of problems with the left and they get protected. He said left about 4 times. What's the point of this exercise? Say he was a leftist as much as possible. That's also how you know it's a lie. Donnie repeated it 3-4 times in 2 sentences. Because he really wants you to believe that Tyler is a left. And again, I'm realizing how sad it is that you rubes who have your name on this gave everything away for nothing and gave it away, like I said, just gave it. No bullets needed to be fired. To this thing who is more transparent than the most wonderful pane of glass. Like a small child on the throne. He's a left. Keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. You understand when they do these things, there's a future agenda they're doing it for. You get that, right? Because it's not true. There's no basis in reality. They haven't shown it yet anyway. What can you tell us about this Venezuelan boat that was taken out? Do you plan to provide proof that these were narco-terrorists? We have proof. All you have to do is look at the cargo that was spattered all over the ocean. Big bags of cocaine and fentanyl all over the place. Wow, they know exactly what drugs were in there. 2 different kinds, fentanyl and coke. And you can tell that by, after it blew up, everything raining into the water. That's Donnie's argument for murdering those people. Wow. Yeah, I'm not buying that you could tell there was cocaine and fentanyl raining into the water, and that's how we know they were drug people. This is the beginning of war, of annexation, of taking things, of letting everyone know, don't even get near us. In other words, precedent being set, we're now on the 2nd boat. We started with troops in California. Now we're moving to the 3rd city, D.C. Now we're moving to Chicago or Memphis or somewhere. It's over, man. Speaking of that, here's Donnie. He leans over and he's talking to Petey Hegseth. Get ready because you'll be doing a lot of other places that are almost as troubled as Memphis. Some of them are equal. If you look at what's going on in Baltimore, where the governor was telling me how wonderful it is, and you can't walk across the street without being shot. A dictator trying to sell a dictatorship of your own military turned against you. There's no way to make that sound good, except in the apocalypse. The fact that there's even one other human that would defend this, preach this, so sad. A lot of other places, Donnie says. I told you back in Cali, didn't I? You're watching the military takeover of your country. And I knew Donnie was going to do it before California. Hard to watch it actually play out, though. Doesn't make it any easier knowing beforehand. It almost makes it worse in a way. Trump on Chicago, you have to bring in the big forces. Which is what we always intended to do. I know, Donnie, I've been telling people since before you won re-election. And by big forces, he means troops with boots and machine guns and helmets. He says big forces because he knows you're stupid. Which is what we always intended to do. Again, there was this crazy guy in sunglasses. I don't know if you've ever watched him. In a car. Yelling that he was going to do all these things. They didn't really hide their intentions. You have to bring in the big forces, which is what we always intended to do. I know, Donnie. That's what I've been trying to convince people of for a long time. But it appears this is kind of ordained, and look, it's where a lot of what this country actually stood for. It's its inevitable conclusion given away to a con man. And then the fall comes, the fall of the empire, which we're in the process of now. And it's not going to take 20 years. Don't worry, son. Not that kind of fall. More like when you step off a cliff. More like that kind of fall. You have to bring in the big forces, which is what we always intended to do. I told you, every now and then a Hitler's born. Every now and then one of them comes to power. This is one. Donnie, again, they don't have to take it anymore, and they don't want to take it. When they spit, you hit, do whatever you want, you do whatever the hell you want. Well, that's where Donnie wants it to go eventually. That's why he's presenting it this way. And that's where it will go. Where they do whatever they want. A lot of ways they already are if you're ICE. Can't even identify an ICE person if they did something to you. An ICE person could shoot somebody on the sidewalk, and how would anyone ever know who they are? Do whatever the hell you want if you get spit on. Okay. That's where we're at, says the Antichrist, says the convicted felon. It looks like he was radicalized over the internet. Oh, I already read that. I don't have to read that again. We have some pretty radical groups and they get away with murder. I've been speaking to the AG about bringing RICO against some of the people who've been putting up millions for agitation. They should be put in jail. We never find any of these people putting up millions for agitation. Could it be, MAGA, that your movement is ass and of Satan and most people don't like it? And Donnie's a putrid, I don't know, feces, smelling piece of shit. Could that be? I'm not seeing the agitation, but again, rich liberals out there and prominent liberals out there, you know who I'm talking to. He has a revenge list and you're on it. Proceed accordingly unless you want to be a martyr. He coming for some of you. I've been saying that for a long time. And if you don't want to be a martyr, I suggest you, listen, not that you'll see this. My messages have a way of traveling, though. So you never know. Look, you people are smart up there on the revenge list. You know where this is going. What are you doing? I suggest you skedaddle. I would. I would have been so the fuck out this country if it wasn't so hard to move and it didn't cost so much money. It's so sad to see what the rubes have done, what the greedy are doing and have done. It's just all going straight down the shitter. And he just says RICO again, paying for agitation. Now protests are agitation, right? And who's paying for them? They still haven't named like any real financiers. You know, like the people that finance J6, Alex Jones, the Publix heiress, various other people. I haven't even heard any names except Soros, and no evidence against him. So again, for the millionth time, the table is being set to arrest prominent liberals for paying for agitation. He keeps saying what he's going to do. They keep showing us and telling us what they're going to do. You might want to believe them. Here's Trump on the Fox couch. I can change the mayor of D.C. I can do whatever I want. I've been telling you he's the Antichrist. He's a dictator. This is what he really believes. He's God. He can do whatever. I can change the mayor of D.C. if I want. I can do whatever I want. That's from the 15th. Trump says he's suing the New York Times for $15 billion over reporting on his corrupt business deals. All right, we don't need to read the thesis about the lawsuit. That's not the point. I've noticed a pattern with all these companies. Donnie's already gotten, 8, 9 of these companies to give him hundreds of millions of dollars in settlements. One of them was Meta, remember? Zuckerberg, maybe ABC, I can't remember, several TV stations. So this is the new grift. You as a company or a broadcaster or whatever have angered me. I am going to sue you. Then you are going to pay me tribute in the form of a settlement. We've seen this over and over again. We've seen people with cases they weren't even losing paying Donnie off in a settlement. People are scared. They are paying tribute. People think they're going to get something out of it. That's what Donnie's doing here with the New York Times. He's saying, are you going to pay me tribute? Or do we need to take this further? So what Donnie is looking for here is the same thing he was looking for in all those other cases. He's already had a taste of blood from you idiots in corporate America by your tribute settlements when you weren't even losing the case. Now he's going to do it to everybody. New York Times is next up on the chopping block. I'm waiting to see if all of a sudden they decide to settle for millions of dollars in tribute to Donnie. Not because they're losing or think they're going to lose. And that wouldn't be the first time or first company. I'm talking again. It's already happened a bunch of times. So that's what Donnie's looking for out of that lawsuit. Just so you know, you don't need to read the whole thesis, all that. It's all bullshit. The same things keep happening over and over again. Just change the company name. The question is, will the New York Times bend the knee? $50 million in tribute, Donnie. We're sorry. They say we don't need him. This is from the 16th or the Yeah, I believe the 16th. We don't need him. Freedom, freedom. He's a dictator. He's a dictator. A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. Yes, evil people that think their dictator will never hurt them and only hurt other people. You are wrong. He's already hurt many of you MAGA folk. He will hurt many more. And if you follow him to the end of this story, you will end up in the abyss with him. And I think you know that. You may want to change direction. Just a thought. Maybe we like a dictator. That's how far the facade has dropped for the Antichrist. Do you have confidence in Kash Patel? This is out by the chopper on the 16th, I believe. Well, first of all, I think Pam Bondi has done an unbelievable job. So they bring up Patel. Donnie's a little skittish about Patel right now. He's not looking too good. So Donnie's going to pivot to Bondi. Donnie is a deflection artist. He's not good at it. He just does it all the time. Deflects right to Bondi. So there goes Patel under the bus for a minute. Here's a reporter from Australia. Should a president in office be engaged in so much business activity? Trump, I'm really not. Where are you from? Uh-oh, the where are you from question. Donnie didn't like that question. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation. You're hurting Australia very much right now, and they want to get along with me. Your leader is coming over to see me very soon. I'm going to tell them about you. You set a very bad tone. Quiet. Do you see what's being built here? Donnie's pushing it further and further to the point where if you question him on anything, how dare you? I'm God. How dare you ask that question? I'm going to get you fired. I'm going to talk to the leader of Australia. We are so far gone. And this question, where are you from, comes a lot quicker and quicker lately. Did you notice? Do you see how this is getting pushed further and further to the point where no one will be allowed to question or critique dear leader ever as he grifts, lies, cheats, and steals, son? Oof. The facade drops more and more by the day. The reporter again from Australia. How much wealthier are you now? Trump, my kids are running my businesses. I'm building a ballroom. Reporter, is it appropriate for a president to be doing so many business deals while in office? And that's when Donnie goes into the you're hurting Australia right now. My God. There's other scripture. I wanted to read it and get it right before I told you it again. About 1,260 days or something of abominations being spouted and done. I don't know about you, but I can feel the evil and just Satan all over this, man. Again, the same question with more context. How much wealthier are you now than when you returned to the White House? The deals I made, for the most part, other than what my kids are doing, they're running my business. Most of the deals that I made were made before. Where are you from? Australia. And then again, he goes into the, in my opinion, you're hurting Australia right now. Quiet. He even said quiet. This is John Carl, a different reporter. And again, this is what it looked like. Donnie out on the lawn. I can see it plain as day. This whole thing. The end point, what I told you a long time ago. Worship of this monster. via your worship of him, his daddy gets worship. If you don't know who Donnie's daddy is, and I ain't talking about Fred Christ Trump's son, you better ask somebody. It's so obvious daily as more and more tribute is paid to him, as more and more journalists get the "who are you with?" as more and more comedians get fired, reporters. It's so obvious where this is going. I told you this thing has a God complex, did I not? Many world leaders have wanted to literally be worshipped as God. This is a special leader anointed by the devil. I wish I was joking when I said that. I wish I was crazy when I said that. Again, it's so obvious. Trump to Jon Karl. You know what? Hold on. I jumped because I got into something else. Jon Karl again. What do you make of Pam Bondi saying she's going to go after hate speech? A lot of your allies say hate speech is free speech. Trump, we'll probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. You have a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe they'll have to go after you. What did I just say? That it's so obvious where this is going? We're going to get to the point where if you critique their leader or the Reich, you get ruined. It will not be allowed. This thing will expect your worship, son. And it's just, again, it's so obvious that's where this is going. And there's such a supernatural, spiritual, just kind of cloud all over this. And I feel it by the second. Because this ain't normal, son. It ain't even close to normal. Don't even try it. Trump to Jon Karl, your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech. No, that was tribute. That was a settlement, what I just talked about earlier. So maybe they'll have to go after you. Hate speech has now become speech against Donald Trump. Do you understand that? How dangerous that is? And it's already too late. He's already set the precedent. Companies already paid tribute. Too late. So maybe they'll have to go after you. You should take your beautiful wife tonight and have dinner. You won't be shot. You won't be accosted. You won't even be looked at incorrectly by anybody. Wow. Wow. You have a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe I'll come after ABC. The radical left has done tremendous damage to the country. Hard to believe this is a president. That's the commenter saying that part. Yep. This is Liam Neeson. So right now in America, you can get fired for directly quoting Charlie Kirk, but you can keep your Fox News talk show when you suggest the U.S. homeless population should be euthanized. Got it. That's where we are. Calling good evil, calling evil good. The guy who wants to euthanize the homeless has his job, no problem, no suspension, no cancellation, no nothing. The guy who made a joke, he gets fired, and we'll get to that. Israel launches Gaza City ground defensive. This is from the 16th, officials say, from the New York Times. So that agenda went nowhere. It's still front and center, and Israel is expediting the process. I expect resorts to begin going up in less than 6 months, and I'm not kidding. This is Representative Nels Takash Patel. I believe this was today. I would say if Charlie Kirk lived in biblical times, he'd have been the 13th disciple. Because Charlie was such a wonderful, nice guy, right? He didn't spout venom and bile at all, right? The 13th apostle, I think, is what he meant to say, but he said the 13th disciple of Christ, Charlie Kirk, would be if he was alive in biblical times. They're going way over the top with it, son. They're making moves with it. They're going to make more moves on the back of it. This is the couch fucker today. I wouldn't go fishing right now in that area of the world. He's talking about the Venezuelan boats, and he's cracking jokes about blowing up boats full of humans. And he said, I wouldn't want to be a fisherman over there right now. So again, this is where we're at in America, where we make jokes. The Reich, number 1 and number 2 in charge, make jokes about blowing up fishermen. That's a punchline now. Making jokes about deploying the military, that's a punchline now. This is Donnie when he visited the King of England today. And I thought that, I'm like, this has to be fake, right? Donnie's saluting. Melania's there in her satanic priestess outfit again. And the king, and I guess, is that his wife? I don't know. And what's being played by the orchestra before them? The orchestra of, the guards in the red suits with the big furry hats. They're playing the Darth Vader theme, like when Vader comes on the screen in Star Wars. The literal theme, son, of the Empire and Darth Vader. They are playing as Donnie's like this and shit. I mean, were they making fun of... What the fuck was this? Was the king trying to make a statement? I think he was. I think the king knew that was going to be played. I'm not shitting you. I posted it in the fucking post section. There's a million posts from today. You'd have to scroll back. They were playing the Darth Vader Empire theme. I was like, what is this? Am I in a movie? Am I in hell? Did I die? This doesn't feel real anymore. What the fuck is going on here? They were playing the theme to one of the most well-known Reichs and villains in pop culture history. In modern culture. Probably the most recognizable theme song to an evil character and an evil empire that there is on the planet. And Donnie's fat ass like this. Am I in a movie? Did I die, Lord? It happened. It was real. Someone made this and they're a genius. The Scooby-Doo meme. Remember, Scooby-Doo, the gang would always unmask some villain at the end. And, you'd always be shocked at who it was. So Miss Bondi is unmasking a villain. I have the list on my desk. That's the top picture. The middle picture, oh shit. Then she puts the mask back on. There is no Epstein list. Exactly. Kash Patel was in a hearing today trying to convince the world that we only have evidence that the only women that were trafficked were, Epstein sleeping with women, that no one was trafficked. Has Melania joined witness protection? This is Melania today, and I've been wondering why, since the inauguration, and including the inauguration, has Melania at these major public events like the inauguration and this, dressing like some type of satanic priestess or something? It's just the vibe I get, son, especially on Inauguration Day. And this shit right here looks real creepy. And I'm starting to think that there's a thing going on here. In Satanism, there's gender reversal and all this kind of stuff. I'm talking about real Satanism, not the shit your neighbor's doing. And I'm not talking about liberalism. I'm talking about something else. Something much more evil. There's something to this. And I know it sounds crazy. It's just a fucking feeling I get, man. That her role in this is more than we realize. And she's doing things at these events. So here's Donnie the King and Melania standing off to the side. I don't know, like a zombie or something? Maybe she doing an incantation or some type of fucking spell or some shit? I don't know. All I know is this shit is creepy, man. What is going on? Is she looking at a dog? Is that what's going on? Her posture, the tilt of the head, just almost doesn't look human. Looks like just, I don't know. Is she going to a funeral? But man, that picture creeps me out. Here's another one. Her head tilted even more forward. This is real, son. This ain't Photoshop. What am I looking at? And why is she dressed like this? And why was she dressed like that on Inauguration Day? What in the fuck? Here's Adam Schiff giving us a little breakdown during an interview. The Trump administration on Epstein, a timeline. Released the list, number 1. Number 2, the list is on our desk. Number 3, there is no list. 4, the list was fabricated by Democrats. 5, only Jeffrey Epstein is on the list. Indeed, that's what Patel was trying to put in your face today in a hearing, or yesterday. I think it was today. That's why Schiff is saying this right now. Now only Jeff's on the list all of a sudden. The FBI has no evidence that he was trafficking girls anywhere to anyone else. Come on, man. When the story changes 5 times, Rubes and class, that's the mark of a liar. Okay? Melania again, because that's how creepy this fucking shit is. Blown up for you. What in the fuck are we looking at, son? And then there's the 4 of them, and why is Melania just kind of off in zombie satanic priestess land? What the fuck? What am I looking at here? This is Thomas Massie who really skewers Patel here. I was like, damn, when I saw this. Were you present when the AG had the White House event when she released the binders to the social media influencers? Patel says, yes, I was. Massey, if you're willing to meet with social media influencers who stood up to benefit from the sensational and sad stories of these victims, will you meet with the victims as well? What do you even say to that? The fact that he hasn't met with the victims really says it all, doesn't it? And the fact that Donnie hasn't. Damn. This is the couch fucker again at this podium where he was talking about, blowing up fishing boats. Real funny stuff. I guess he's in Michigan or something. And he says, Gretchen, that's Gretchen Whitmer, we are happy to send the National Guard to Detroit. All you gotta do is ask. Yes, this is what I wanted to say earlier. We are at the point because precedent was set and now we're conditioned where the couch fucker and the Reich, including Donnie, make jokes about deploying our own military against us on a regular basis. They make these jokes. And they make jokes about people not wanting to fish because they might get blown up by the U.S. military when we're not at war. Precedent set. Now they crack jokes about it. That's how far gone your fucking country is. All you gotta do is ask. We are happy to send the Guard to Detroit. How sad is it that every citizen in America, the second military troops were deployed in California, didn't say, you know what, this is going too far. So sad that precedent got set. And now we're so far past that. We're about to deploy the military in 3 or 4, the third or fourth city. And they're cracking jokes about blowing fishermen out of the water using our military. And they're cracking jokes about deploying the military against governors and cities they don't like. Yes, we are so over and we're so far gone. Here's Ted Lieu, and I love the new Ted Lieu. Are there photos of showing Donald Trump with girls of an uncertain age? Patel, no. How do you know that? Because the information would have been brought to light by multiple administrations. Really? He's going to go back to Biden and other administrations. Well, again, Epstein died and Donnie was still president for over a year. He could have released everything. Mr. Lieu says, that's just not true. Nobody knew about that creepy birthday message that Trump wrote to Epstein. Patel thinks he's smart. Ted Lieu is smarter. And so's Adam Schiff. And so is Swalwell. And so is all of them. Creepy birthday message to Epstein. Did we forget about that? Every day should be another wonderful secret. Enigmas never age. That's who's running our country. That's who's going to demand your worship. This is Donnie at the King's table. Donnie lied and said he was the first and only president to ever have the honor of going to Windsor Castle. That's not even remotely true. But Donnie doesn't have a lot of a brain left, and Donnie has to have some special weirdness that only, he gets on all these trips. Like, he got the carriage ride in the gold King's carriage today. Did you see that? The little boy got a ride in a carriage. because that meant a lot to him. So this is one of the things that Donnie said, and I know exactly what this means. Together we must defend the exceptional heritage that makes us who we are, and we must continue to stand for the values and the people of the English-speaking world. I know exactly what he means by saying that. I told you this is a Reich. I told you it's going to go global. A 12-foot golden statue of President Trump holding a Bitcoin was unveiled outside the Capitol on 3rd Street. That's what it looks like. Donnie couldn't even wait. They couldn't even wait for the gold statues in Gaza like in the commercial. They had to put one up now. With a Bitcoin, you say? With a digital cashless currency in its hand. The golden calf. The idol of a man who wants to be worshipped as a god. First gold statue. I guess the next ones will go up in Gaza. Or maybe they'll put this one up in Gaza. 12 foot, you say? With the hand extended with the digital currency that doesn't exist in his hand. Look at that. Again, people, I keep making this point. I get on camera at the beginning of this thing and for the past 10 years saying a lot of the same things. I tell you he's the Antichrist. I tell you I really didn't want him to be, and I was hoping he wasn't. When he lost that last election, but of course he staged a coup and he never went away and then he got power back. So yeah, it's him. I showed you the commercial as I'm saying all this outlandish shit. This is a Reich, you know, they're Nazis, they're going to do this, they're going to do this horrible thing. There's this story called Revelation, blah, blah, blah. You know. And then they put out that commercial with the gold Donnie statues and Trump Gaza and all of it. And I was like, because again, son, to say it is one thing. To know it. To see it. That's a whole nother thing. I asked the question many times. After seeing that commercial, I wonder if they're really going to put those gold statues up of Donnie on the Holy Land, son. Well, I guess I don't have to wait. They say this statue is temporary, though. That doesn't matter to me, son. We got our first one. And he's holding currency that is cashless that will end up being the world's currency. I said that a long time ago, too. That Donnie coin, they got to switch us over. They got to crash it. They got to switch us over. That's after they steal everything of real value and give you worthless Donnie coin. There will be a mark. There will be a currency. I said all these crazy things. I said, is he really going to put up them gold statues? Gold statue of him, digital currency that I said, I told you he would force us to switch over. It will be the world's currency. That's in the story. Everyone on earth will be forced to take a mark. If you don't, it will not go well. If you don't, you can't participate in society. Just like now, you know, under normal circumstances, if you don't have a social, you can't enter the workforce, you can't do nothing. Same thing. But this is different. This will be the beast system. I guess what I'm trying to say is they're showing you what they're going to do again. Pay attention. Donnie Coin will come into your life. They will, in other words, they won't give you a choice. This gold statue's come into your life. Just like the fucking Gaza commercial. I couldn't believe it when I saw this. So fucking obvious where this is going. Right where this statue is showing you it going. Donnie offering you the digital currency. The very thing I said he would do. Offering you the mark, offering you a choice, offering you the currency. They made a statue personifying what I said. In gold, of course, because this is the golden age, Donnie's God, and, the whole thing. So this is a little excerpt from an ABC article or something about the statue. The temporary piece located on 3rd Street from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. was funded by a collective of cryptocurrency investors. Organizers said the piece is intended to provoke debate about the future of digital currency, monetary policy, and the federal government's role in financial markets. No, it's to desensitize you, set the precedent, shove it in our face again. They know exactly what they're doing. Donnie's been all about these crypto people and having meetings with them left and right. They're showing you where they are about to take us. The crypto world and Donnie, the Reich. And where they're about to take us is Donnie offering you the mark, son. The currency you'll need if you want to participate. The mark you'll need. The pledge you'll need to make. Personifying what I said they would do, what he would offer you. I've worded it that way many times, have I not? The installation is designed to ignite conversation about the future of government-issued currency and is a symbol of the intersection between modern politics and financial innovation, said Hikam Zagdoudi, a representative of the collective of crypto investors who have funded this artistic installation. As the Federal Reserve shapes economic policy, we hope this statue prompts reflection on cryptocurrency's growing influence. Donnie Coin will be the world currency. I told you this months ago. And God, again, I was hoping I'd be fucking wrong. Just every day, man. They cement it further and further. My belief in where this is going, and I don't want them to. But I'm sorry, son. You see, back in my day, we used to call this a golden idol or a golden calf. That's what we call it. The crypto people call it an artistic piece to provoke thought and conversation about crypto. No, son, it's the Antichrist and the crypto bros showing you where they abouts to take you. Pay attention. Pay fucking attention. Again, we saw this commercial. The crazy guy in sunglasses is yelling about gold statues on the Holy Land. They don't even wait till they get there, son. We got this already. Yeah, I know, it's only temporary, right? Kind of like the fall of our fucking empire, right? Holy fuck. I couldn't believe that when I saw that today. The big news, Jimmy Kimmel. Looks like he's getting fired, basically, unless he does some really bending over and taking it. So when I saw this, I thought to myself, what I've been telling you for so long. This is exactly how I thought it would go. Reporters getting fired. getting threatened to be fired. I read you some comments that Donnie made to an Australian reporter, to John Carl, whoever that is. Comedians getting fired, Colbert, now Jimmy Kimmel, and Donnie has mentioned that he wants the other two fired, Myers and the other one I can't remember. So I expect them to be fired as well, because every corporation is just bending over for this motherfucker. I haven't seen one person not pay him tribute, one company not pay him tribute, not bend over. Not only do they pay him tribute, they give him settlement tribute payments. Then they fire their top talent. The two biggest shows, Kimmel and fucking Colbert, pretty much for late night, right? And I'm sorry, no one's convincing me they wanted to get rid of these guys. Nobody. What do we got? Exactly what I said, a Reich, dictatorship. And again, it's right on schedule, exactly how I thought. Reporters going down, Terry Moran and others been fired. Colbert lost his job. Again, these are top people that thought they were probably untouchable. We saw Tom Hanks was going to get an award. Donnie put a kibosh on that. Not that Tom Hanks gives a fuck about it. That's not the point. The point is, these are the highest of high-profile people that the Antichrist, the dictator, is fucking with majorly. Took Colbert's job away. Took Kimmel's job away. Exactly how I thought it was going to go. Watching it play out before our eyes. And man, again, knowing all this stuff was going to happen does not make it any easier seeing it happen. Kimmel out unless, and I'll read the unless. Jimmy Kimmel is being indefinitely shelved by ABC, proving that the only thing it's safe to say on TV anymore is that you want to kill homeless people. Yep. The only thing that's good to preach anymore is evil and cruelty, and you dare not criticize the Reich, Donnie, or Charlie Kirk. But Donnie has had his eye on these 4 late-night comics for a long time. He's wanted to get them. He's been making comments about them for months now. We are at the point, son and class, where the dictator gets late-night comedians fired. Gets reporters fired. Speech is going away. I hope you enjoyed it while it lasted. And again, saying on TV that you want to kill homeless, that's fine. You don't even get a disciplinary action, a write-up, let alone fired. You talk about how Donnie's trying to portray Robinson as a leftist. You lose your top-ranked late-night comedian job. It's over. Checkmate. Everyone's bending over in power. That has money, that runs television. Everyone's bending over. That's something else I pretty much figured would happen as well. I've seen it too many times in real life. I've never really seen any solidarity about anything. I've never even had someone be on my team for any significant amount of time. So, when I asked myself years ago as a young man and all throughout the decades, would people go along? Of course they would. It means they get something out of it, or their ass don't get hurt. Yeah. Every day, all day. I've watched people stab each other in the back for an extra day off. You kidding me, son? This is Adam Schiff making a point. Kimmel, Colbert, suits against the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and 60 Minutes, extorting settlements from CBS, ABC, and others, blocking the AP's access to the White House. This administration is responsible for the most blatant attacks on the free press in American history. What will be left of the First Amendment when he's done? None. That's the point. Desensitizing us and conditioning us enough so we get to the point where the First Amendment no longer exists. We're already pretty much there. And critique of the Reich will be illegal, just like it was in Hitler's day. Great news. This is Donnie from England. Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel Show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, the two total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. President DJT. Did I say 1,260 days of abominations? This is the president celebrating the firing of a late-night comedian based on his urgings. Why did they fire him? Because the company that owns the Kimmel Show and all that, they have a merger that they're interested in. That's what Donnie is using as the carrot to dangle in front of him. The same as the other company that had a merger. So again, from England, he's celebrating the firing of Jimmy Kimmel as president of the United States, when he got him fired. The UK will formally recognize Palestinian statehood this weekend following Trump's visit. Ooh, Bibi and Donnie ain't gonna like that. And you know what that is? That's the King of England and England sending Donnie a message. Look, we're going to end up with a situation where Europe and Canada are on the side of Palestine, and Russia and the U.S. are on the side of Israel. And I have a feeling that's going to start a war, if not Donnie just starting a war by randomly invading people. I don't know. But I can see Europe aligning themselves with the Palestinian cause. I can see Russia, Israel, and America aligning together, and we won't be the good guys. This time. I'm sorry. I can see a great war over that. Over Palestinian statehood. To formally recognize it right after Donnie's visit, yeah, that's them trying to send Donnie a message. And the message is, fuck you. Because Palestinian statehood is the last thing Donnie and especially Bibi want to fucking hear. Here's Donnie again. I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I'm designating Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization. I will also strongly be recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention. Antifa does not exist as an organization. Donnie and the Reich know this. They've been using Antifa boogeyman for how many decades now in American politics? Antifa does not exist. There are no chapters and cells. Stephen Miller and Donnie know this. So what's the point of this exercise? They can label you Antifa if they want to and deport you or put you in a camp. That's the point of this exercise. They don't care if the group exists. It's a title to put on you. So if you're Antifa, you're a terrorist now. Now there's special rules. Now we can ship you anywhere, take you to a camp, torture you, whatever. Send you out the country. What did Stevie say? We gonna exile you. I told you this a long time ago. Deportations ain't for illegal aliens. They're for you. So the Reich is well aware when we all call him stupid every day, because I know I'm going to see those comments left there. They're so dumb. Antifa doesn't even exist. You know what does exist, son? A Reich. Under Donnie shitbags who thinks he's God. And it doesn't matter what you believe, what exists or doesn't exist. They're going to do what they want anyway. So they can label, now the Reich can label anyone Antifa, and now you're a terrorist, and God help you. That's where your country is now. as you're, in the chat room laughing and calling them stupid because Antifa doesn't exist. They know that. You exist, though, and they're going to call you Antifa. That's what it's for. And for the rubes, this is Noel Casler. I say this very sincerely with a sordid knowledge of Trump's history. He should never be given the benefit of the doubt. Let me stop there. I just said this to you people a couple weeks ago. I said this Reich should never be given the benefit of the doubt. These are evil people that have nothing but evil intentions for you. I know you don't know that. I do. That's why I'm here to guide you through it and explain it to you until they, kill me. Noel Casler, who knows Donnie better than most people, worked around very closely. He says never give Donnie the benefit of the doubt. Indeed, I tried to tell you the same thing. Most especially in the case of many very convenient deaths in his 40-plus years of public life, he has not earned the lack of scrutiny he has always been afforded. My God. And I'm getting tired of that in this world, watching evil people get the benefit of the doubt when their every action is nefarious and evil. You know what the benefit of the doubt gets them? A chance to do more evil. Noel Casler again, and we're going to end it here. Feeling his oats from the Kimmel firing and the royal family's fetting and felching, Trump just declared Antifa, there is not an organized group, a major terrorist organization, which means he can call anyone who opposes him a terrorist now. Sleep well, folks. Indeed, sleep well. Don't take the mark, no matter what it costs you. I know most of you will out of sheer fear, panic, blah, blah, blah. But please hear me and don't take the mark and see where this is going. You lost a lot more of your country here in the past few days. Now all they got to do is label you Antifa. Sleep well, folks. Until next time, have a wonderful evening.